it's your boy Hype, bringing you another weekly Nightfall strike on the Animal Instincts Gaming channel. This is the 16th strike, isthar sync, going up against the Nexus. And if you've been following along with the Lucky Sky on Destiny, I will have that uploaded later for you guys. Special Christmas edition. So moving on, we have epic as usual, highly shielded and highly aggressive enemies appear in great numbers. Nightfall, if you die, you're done. This week's damage of choice is Void Burn, going in Void Heavy. I'll show you the class setup in a second. And we have Angry. Minions of the Darkness won't flinch even after massive damage. And this time around we have Juggler. No ammo drops, so make sure you go in there with your synthesis ready for war. Alright, so weapons we're going in with Atheon's Epilogue. And I'm going to switch this out, Kraden's Revenge. And the Truth. This is like my Void class right here. This is what I always rock when we got Void. So let's get this thing moving. Alright, so the first beginning part of this, I'm just going to keep it sped up a little bit. You know, if you want to fight things out here in the beginning where you first touch down to gather up some ammo, then go right ahead. I like to try and get through these things, and this strike took about 20 minutes to do, and a lot of it is because of this beginning part. And the rest was basically because waiting on cooldowns for synthesis, so keep that in mind. So right here in this beginning, right when you get to your restricted spawning area, you're going to want to stop and stay in this doorway and just kill all these enemies from here. It's your best bet. I mean, if you got a team, you could probably leave, I would leave a hunter back, and the other two guys, they can go out and they can wreak some havoc, man. But as you know, I like to show these things solo, to where if you don't have a team, or if your team ain't on and you want to see what you get as a reward and you want to hop on there and do it yourself, that's why I put this up here for you guys each and every week. So this time around I'm using a hunter, and through a lot of this strike, you'll see after this first wave, after I get through the first, you know, the servitors out of here, I go through a lot of it being invisible. And also, the end of this I do a little bit differently than usual too. So if you have any problems with that, if you're not using a hunter and you're not, you know, or if you're struggling at the end, then I will put a link in the description for the previous strike, for this strike against the Nexus that I did. And if you play it the same way, you should get through it no problem, like a breeze. The only thing that's going to be different is possibly the damage. Other than that, you know, if you play it out the same way, you should have no problem getting through it. But, you know, if you want to try it this way and you feel comfortable doing it this way, then go right ahead, man. You shouldn't have an issue doing it either way. I just, you know, was using a hunter. I'm going to kind of change it up a little bit. A lot of the strikes, I was always using a warlock and always had that self-resurrection, and, you know, and a lot of times I didn't use it, but the fact that it was there, you know, kind of makes the strike a little bit easier, just knowing that, you know, all right, if I do die, I can hit that self-resurrection and it's not game over. But anyways, sometimes these servitors right here, they'll spawn in this room straight ahead, or they'll spawn in the room that's back there and to the right. And, you know, it varies, it's random every time, so it doesn't really matter. You still play it the same way. I like to shoot a couple rockets in there from the Truth, and it'll pretty much take out the whole lot of them. After that last servitor is dead, you want to run back to here, and usually it'll spawn in the next wave. I guess there were still a couple of guys up there that I needed to take out, and then it started getting the rest of them coming in. And then it's the same thing for the next two, man. You just want to stay back here, play cautious. You know, these Nightfalls now, they were still difficult at the 28s. Now they're 30s. My character here, this hunter, he's a 31. And believe me, they were doing some damage. If I would have went out there and tried to battle any of these guys heads up, you know, it would have been game over, even though I'm right at the beginning. But this is actually the hardest part of the strike. You know, right here. And it's not even that it's really hard. I mean, don't really come close to dying unless you're just standing out there shooting at somebody for too long. But it's just, it's time consuming, you know what I mean? And it's basically the main part of the strike. Because after this, you'll see once I kill that third servitor, and that's what I was trying to do right there, so I didn't even have to fight anything else. But once I take him out, I just go, you know, go invisible through the next few steps, you know, and then it's kind of smooth sound the rest of the way. But I will show you that. Look at that nade fail. Almost blew myself up, but I will show you that. And like I was saying, if you are struggling with the way that I do the end here, or you know, if you're not a hunter and you can't go invisible, link will be in the description for another approach. So right there, all I was doing was just trying to take out that last servitor. I get him dead and then use my super, boom, go invisible, and then, you know, shedding all that time and aggravation not having to fight them. And then even when I come up to this next spot right here, right before where I know there's going to be enemies, crouch down, go invisible, run right past all them. And then that's the same thing right here. And then right when I get down to where all these goblins spawn in, I knife one of them, go invisible, and just walk past them. Now as far as this hill, I like to just hit them, man, with a couple of rockets. It'll pretty much take out the whole lot of them. And, you know, maybe you can get some ammo before you go in there, some Ingrams or whatever. Now right here, when you get to this spot, you don't want to shoot any of the Minotaurs. And you're going to want to hop down and go off to the left, and you're going to see this rock right here. Now the reason you don't want to shoot any of those Minotaurs is because then the attention's going to be drawn to you, and if you don't shoot them, you can buy more time over here in case you're struggling like I do, because I suck on jumping that stuff. Let's be honest. I mean, look at this, failing miserably, but you'll see right there, and it's kind of a good thing that I did fail, because it's going to give you guys a better view and a better idea of where where you got to go. Right there, me and that Minotaur were having a stare down. He's getting ready to come after me, so I know if I don't get it here, then I got to go with a different approach. But when you jump up on that, you're going to see that ledge up there. Jump up to that one, and then from here, this is it. This is how you're going to play out the rest of the, battle in the Nexus. Now, once you're back here, you'll see that wall that's right there in front of me right now. That's kind of going to be your safe spot. And there's a little drop down that's right behind there to where you can kind of get low and stay behind that wall, because you're not 100% safe back here at all. But you really don't have to deal with all the rest of the enemies, and it's kind of just you and the Nexus. And you're just going to want to play this safe. Get a couple shots in the Nexus, and you're going to see here in this video, it gets chaotic back here, man. The Nexus is just non-stop raining shots. So be cautious when you're here. Don't think that, you're 100% safe. I kind of did learn a few things along the way from doing this, and that if you stay crouched down and stay as far back as possible to where, you can kind of barely see the Nexus. Yeah, you're not getting the, the high damage spots, but it keeps his shots a little bit lower, and he'll kind of hit that front wall, and you won't be getting hit as much. So once you're back here, you're going to want to take out some of the Minotaurs, which, that can be a pain, but you'll get it done. And, that's going to spawn in. That's going to cause the Nexus to spawn in. And another step back that I learned was, well, not really that I learned, it's been out there for a while, but it worked out well for this, was having the icebreaker on standby, because you got 5 minutes to wait for a cooldown for a synthesis, and if you're doing this solo, you can find yourself just sitting there for 5 minutes waiting on that cooldown. If you put your icebreaker on, let your icebreaker regen all its ammo, it's 6 rounds, then switch back to the Praetor's Revenge. You'll have about 12 rounds ready to go, and then do the same thing, while you're waiting on that cooldown. And then once that cooldown's done, you're ready to go. But you'll see here that one Minotaur that I was just trying to battle it out with, he really didn't want to die. He's just sitting there shooting, and I'm even looking like, damn, man, come on, give me a break. But it ends up saying, the Nexus, and I say, you know what, he can just stay there. And kind of made things a little bit interesting, because really with him shooting nonstop and then the Nexus shooting nonstop, it was you'll see it gets pretty crazy back here. So just make sure, you know, don't get over aggressive. You kind of want to stay back to that left and stay crouched down. Like I said, you'll see some things. You'll kind of see the way I change how I'm playing it out, because it's not the same as what it used to be. You know, before the splash damage would still get you, and but you know, it wasn't as powerful. Even though, you know, you'd still die pretty fast. But I'm a 31 and these are 30. But I'm just going to let the music play out. I'm going to bring the music volume up and let that ride out. If you guys want to stick around to the end to see what I got this time, I think you will be surprised, because I was surprised. It was about damn time. I don't want to spoil it too much, but and you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you tune back in for the Luckiest Guy on Destiny Christmas Edition later. Yeah, Christmas Edition coming at you. Luckiest Guy on Destiny. And also, I will have a link in the description for an alternate way to play out this whole mission in case you're not a hunter, or if you're still struggling with this way, or whatever. So, as always, thanks for watching. Animals, it's your boy Hype. We out.